This is Parris Island. It is here where male recruits who live east of the Mississippi River and all female recruits are transformed into Marines. Parris Island has a storied military history dating back to 1562, when a French expedition led by Jean Ribault was the first European group to attempt to colonize Parris Island. The French expedition built an outpost named Charlesfort, and Ribault left a small garrison as he returned to France for colonists and supplies. After the garrison mutinied in April of 1563, the outpost was abandoned. In 1566, the Spanish founded the settlement of Santa Elena on the island, which was the new capital of the Spanish colony of La Florida, shifting the Spanish colonization north from St. Augustine. The Spanish abandoned Santa Elena in 1587. Parris Island became home to British plantations after being purchased by Colonel Alexander Parris, treasurer of the South Carolina colony, in 1715. During and after the Civil War, the island became home to freed slaves and was a site of freedmen's schools taught by abolitionists such as Francis Gage and Clara Barton. Union forces captured Port Royal Sound in 1861, and Parris Island became a coaling station for the Navy. This function was taken up again after the war, thanks in large part to the former slave-turned-congressman Robert Smalls, who fought for the creation of a new federal military installation on the island. Marines were first stationed on Parris Island in 1891 in the form of a small security detachment headed by First Sergeant Richard Donovan. His unit was attached to the naval station, Port Royal, the forerunner of Parris Island. Donovan's unit was highly commended for preserving life and property during hurricanes and tidal waves that swept over the island in 1891 and 1893. Military buildings and homes constructed between 1891 and World War I formed the nucleus of the Parris Island Historic District. At the district center are the Commanding General's Home, a 19th-century wooden dry dock, and a turn-of-the-century gazebo, all of which are on the National Register of Historic Places. On November 1, 1915, Parris Island was officially designated a Marine Corps recruit depot, and training was continued from then on. The first Marines trained on Parris Island saw battle in the trenches of France during World War I. More than 46,000 Marines were trained for duty in World War I. During the fateful December of 1941, 5,272 recruits arrived on Parris Island, with 9,206 arriving the following month, making it necessary to add the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Recruit Training Battalions. As the war influx continued, 5 battalions were sent to New River, North Carolina to train, and the depot expanded to 13 battalions. From 1941 through 1945, the Marines trained over 200,000 recruits here, and at the time of the Japanese surrender, the depot contained more than 20,000 recruits. In 1946, Marine Corps leaders reorganized Parris Island and decided to give it a designation that would reflect its primary mission, the training of Marine Corps recruits. Thus, the world-famous Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina, was born. About a year after the passing of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act on February 15, 1949, the Marines activated a separate command for the sole purpose of training female recruits. Later, this command was designated the 4th Recruit Training Battalion, and it now serves as the only battalion in the Corps for training female recruits. Currently, the Marines train about 19,000 recruits at Parris Island each year. Today, the primary mission of Parris Island continues to be the producing of highly disciplined, basically trained Marines. Before they stepped onto this bus, the lives led by these young men and women from different backgrounds may have had little in common. They are now leaving those lives behind for a common goal: to earn the title of United States Marine. It starts when a drill instructor steps onto the bus to welcome them to Parris Island.
Pick your hands up and look at me right now. Scream, "I sir!" No, scream louder than that. From this point forward, every time I open my face, you will respond back. Do you understand? Scream louder. Now, when I tell you to, you're gonna get all your crap. Get up and get off my bus. Get on my yellow footprints. 4 recruits side by side. Do you understand? That's not screaming. "I sir!" Get up. Okay, sit down. Scream louder than that. Get up. Get off my bus.
They soon realize that their lives are about to change forever. Every enlisted member of the world's finest fighting force begins their transformation on the same iconic yellow footprints. Not everyone standing here will earn the title of U.S. Marine.
The Marine Corps' success depends on teamwork. Therefore, teamwork is an essential part of your training here at Parris Island. From now on, you will train as a team. You will eat, live, sleep, and train as a team. The word "I" is no longer part of your vocabulary. Do we understand? Yes, sir!
To do so, they must pass through the most demanding recruit training in the world. Not everyone is cut out for it. Over the next 12 weeks, they will be tested more than they could have ever imagined, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The training is intense and uncompromising, but they will find parts of themselves they never knew were there. They will be broken down and rebuilt from the ground up as a disciplined, motivated, and dedicated warrior for their nation. They will be United States Marines. Within minutes of their arrival on Parris Island,
What do you have?
Literature, sir.
Bring it up here. Say "I sir!"
Aye, sir.
the new recruits surrender the last physical remainders of their past identity as a civilian, such as candy, snacks, cigarettes, and for the men, their hair.
Look, take the tension off your neck and relax.
Welcome to the receiving phase. The receiving phase is made as confusing and disorienting for the recruits as possible to help distance the recruits from civilian habits and to prepare them for Marine Corps discipline.
The initial meet and greet, or when the drill instructors are introduced to the recruits, is basically a culture shock to basically have them in the mindset of what they're going to be doing here in recruit training. The recruit training is 70 training days, and there will be transitioning into those training days as Marine Corps recruits.
The Marine Corps' success depends upon teamwork. Therefore, teamwork is an essential part of training on Parris Island. It is to replace the thought of self with the thought of the team. Before training can start, each male recruit must be able to do a minimum of 2 pull-ups, and female recruits must be able to do a flexed arm hang for 12 seconds. Both are required to do 44 crunches in 2 minutes and run 1.5 miles in under 13 minutes and 30 seconds for the men, and the females have 15 minutes to cross the finish line. Recruits are advised to report to training with the ability to run much further distances at a faster pace, as the IST run is only half the distance of the 3-mile physical fitness test required of all recruits. After passing their initial strength test, Marine Corps recruit training begins with a moment these recruits will never forget. It's time to meet their drill instructors. They are the backbone of the Marine Corps, demanding perfectionists who monopolize every waking hour of the recruits' lives. Every second of every day will be spent with these drill instructors, who will mold them into Marines. They will instill in them, through their own example, the utmost levels of professionalism, teamwork, discipline, and confidence. They really do make Marines.
Correct. Get back.
The next 3 to 5 days is the period known as forming. It is nothing short of learning a new language, a new culture, a fast-paced way of life that starts with the willing obedience of every order. Recruits learn a complete new way of speaking and use language and terminology they will use throughout their entire time in the Marine Corps.
Clutch! Clutch!
The drill instructors physically, psychologically, and mentally challenge the recruits, including yelling at maximum volume and intimidation to simulate the stress of the battlefield and to elicit immediate compliance to instructions. Marine Corps recruit training is broken down into 3 basic phases. Phase 1 lasts approximately 4 weeks. Here, discipline will begin to be instilled in recruits by disorienting them and breaking them from old civilian habits and mindsets. Drill instructors begin reinforcing the mental and physical standards needed to perform under stressful situations that could be experienced in combat. The purpose of Phase 1 is to mentally and physically challenge the recruits. At this point, civilian habits are completely detrimental to training, so they are eliminated during this period through intense physical training, strict routines, discipline, and intense instruction.
It is not a debate. It is not a debate.
The process is designed to enable recruits to learn to survive in combat situations and to adapt and overcome any unexpected situation. One of the principal ideals learned during this period is that recruits are not to think of themselves as individuals. They are not permitted to use the first-person pronoun, I. Instead, recruits refer to themselves as this recruit, and all tasks are designed with teamwork in mind. Recruits are expected to conform to a standard that does not tolerate personal eccentricities. It is a fast-paced, intense period in the transformation of civilian to Marine. Close order drill is an important factor in recruit training and begins from their first formation on the yellow footprints. In the first phase, they learn all of the basic commands and movements, memorizing the timing through the use of cadence that helps synchronize a recruit's movements with the rest of his or her platoon. During Phase 1, recruits learn that their civilian bodies aren't good enough. Phase 1 training focuses on turning their civilian bodies into the bodies of Marines. This is done through a rigorous routine of endurance and resistance exercises. Running will build their cardiovascular endurance, and events like the circuit course will build muscle strength and stamina to forge them into the best shape of their lives. They are going to need it for the trials they face ahead. Recruits quickly learn that the Marine Corps demands the maximum effort in everything they do, and in case they ever forget, they receive attitude adjustments through IT, incentive training. Pugil Sticks 1 introduces the recruit's first real chance to show some aggression. Pugil sticks are heavily padded poles recruits spar with to simulate rifle and bayonet combat. These weapons are an effective and safe way for recruits to develop the intensity, confidence, and combat techniques of a Marine. They will learn how to outmaneuver and overpower an opponent. For most recruits, Pugil Sticks training is the first physical combat they have ever experienced. Driven by the philosophy of one mind, any weapon, the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, MCMAP, combines some of the most effective unarmed techniques from various martial arts with armed techniques designed for combat. During their time in the Corps, Marines can advance through 5 colored belt levels. MCMAP stresses physical, mental, and character disciplines. Marines study martial arts culture and history to hone their minds. They maintain optimal fitness through extensive combat conditioning and practice of new skills. More importantly, MCMAP reinforces the moral values Marines count on to execute their battlefield objectives as ethical warriors. During Week 3, recruits are introduced to the Confidence Course. During the 2 rounds of the Confidence Course, recruits will face 11 unique challenges, each more demanding than the one before. Recruits will first complete the course individually, and then in 4-man fire teams, adding teamwork to the physical challenge. The course increases recruits' physical strength, and as the name implies, confidence. Week 3 concludes when the recruits receive their first inspection by their senior drill instructor.
For the senior drill instructor inspection, the thing that I like to see the most from recruits is them to have confidence and bearing when somebody's standing in front of them.
Here, they will be tested on their training and academics to see how they respond under the pressure of an inspection. They will face many more of them throughout their time in the Marine Corps. There is a lot more to being a Marine than being a fierce warrior. The Marine Corps provides a strong emphasis on morals and integrity. Once a week, a core values class is given by the senior drill instructor. Week 4 brings basic water survival training, also known as swim qual.
The most common difficulty that we see here at the combat training tank is the recruits actually swimming with the gear that we provide for them. The recruits have a previous history of swimming, but when they put on all the gear, it's a little harder for them to cope.
By definition, the Marine Corps is an amphibious assault force. Therefore, all Marine recruits are required to know how to survive in the water. Recruits receive basic water survival training at the indoor pool, which is safely conducted by specially trained instructors. Training in combat water survival develops a recruit's confidence in the water. All recruits train in the camouflage utility uniform, but those upgrading may be required to train in full combat gear, which includes a rifle, helmet, flak jacket, and pack. Recruits who have trouble in the water are given to a special group of drill instructors to help reinforce the basics, because it's pretty simple. If they don't swim, they don't become a Marine. The gas chamber is actually the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear CBRN confidence chamber.
The purpose of the gas chamber is so that the recruits become familiar with their M50 gas mask.
Blow on it, blow on it! Look, hey, look at just like it. Put it on and just blow.
So that way, when they get out to the fleet, they already have familiarization with it and they know how to properly use their mask.
The recruits learn about the M50 field protective mask, or gas mask. This exercise exposes the recruits to a simulated toxic environment by using CS gas, also known as tear gas. It is non-lethal and builds the recruits' confidence in their gear, with the understanding that the masks can save their lives. This experience gives them confidence as they now understand some of the basic protective measures that must be taken against chemical weapons or hazards. It further reinforces the understanding that Marines are a force in readiness, regardless of the circumstance.
Shoot your arm out. Do we understand?
So the
3 o'clock. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Go.
Aye, sir.
Go. Jump back and go.
Aye, sir.
I do see them struggle, but initially when they're getting through their C classes and their period of instructions, but when the drill instructors and the black shirts start doing the examples, they rappel several times both off the wall and the helo, then they kind of get that desire to want to do it, and they kind of lose that fear and become more confident, and later on through training it shows.
Recruits learn rappelling, a controlled slide down a rope that prepares Marines for deployment from helicopters, for navigating difficult terrain, and for gaining access to buildings during raids. From the rappel tower, recruits learn the proper way to brake, regulate speed, and land safely. Rappelling teaches recruits technique as well as confidence and courage in a supervised environment.
You shoot it out to your side. That's how you don't friggin' fall down, Crawford. Go that way.
The first inter-platoon contest, held in the first week of the second phase, is termed Initial Drill, where the platoon and junior-most drill instructor are graded as a whole on their performance in close-order drill.
Right to the right. Right here, right here.
Every Marine a rifleman is a mantra that is central to the Marine Corps culture. Marines are united by the shared experience of the training they all endure, which is aimed at achieving proficiency as war fighters first. Everything else is secondary. This is another testament to the exceptionality of the Marine Corps, that all Marines are held to the highest of standards. This is Grass Week. The recruits spend time practicing their firing positions, also called snapping in. During Grass Week, a strong emphasis is placed upon firing positions, firing procedures, and safety requirements. It's firing week. The recruits are awakened early in the morning to prepare the rifle range for firing. Half of the platoons will fire at 200, 300, and 500 yards in the standing, sitting, kneeling, and prone positions. The other half will mark targets in the pits. Friday of that week is qualification day, where recruits must qualify with a minimum score in order to earn a marksmanship badge and continue training. The Marines are the only branch of the United States Armed Forces that require the 500-yard line qualification. After the rifle range, recruits are assigned to a week of maintenance duties known as Team Week. During this week, recruits will be able to revisit previous instruction and retake tests. Recruits that need to have medical or dental needs addressed, such as the extraction of wisdom teeth, have those procedures done here so that recovery time impacts training as little as possible. Phase 3 is essentially the polishing of the recruits, where their skills and knowledge are honed and tested. Phase 3 begins with Table 2 firing, where recruits learn to fire their rifle under more realistic combat conditions, such as unknown distances, at night, and wearing a gas mask. During Basic Warrior Training, or BWT, recruits learn the fundamentals of combat. They sleep in the field and eat MREs. Skills taught include camouflage, low crawling, land navigation, basic squad tactics, rappelling, and other foundations of military skills. Training Day 63, the Crucible. The recruits are awakened at 2 a.m. to prepare for their hike to the Crucible. They are only 54 hours away from becoming Marines, but they will be the most difficult 54 hours of their lives. The Crucible is the defining moment of recruit training. For most, the Crucible will be the first time they reach the limits of their mental, physical, and emotional endurance. They will know that they are capable of much more than they previously believed. The young men and women leaving for the Crucible exit the squad bay for the last time as recruits. They will return as United States Marines. The Crucible is 54 hours of intense, physically demanding training under conditions of sleep and food deprivation. During this time, recruits will be forged in the furnace of shared hardship and tough training that is the time-tried and battle-proven trademark of Marine Corps recruit training. There will be night forced marches, a tough night infiltration movement, a combat resupply event, a casualty evacuation drill, and combat field firing. Here, you can see the recruits going through a combat course with multiple obstacles and situations they could run into on the battlefield. They play the sounds of machine gun fire and explosions to simulate the combat environment. Pugil Sticks 4. Here, the bouts will start with the recruits entering simulated trenches that lead into an enclosed area that represents a machine gun nest. The bouts are controlled by a martial arts instructor that starts and stops the bouts. Each bout is stopped after a set amount of time, or when a properly executed technique is delivered to an opponent.
Get him, swing, fight back! Break off him and fight! How much do you weigh? 165, sir. Stand behind him!
Recruits will encounter unique obstacles, each bearing the name of a heroic Marine from the Corps' illustrious history, which can only be negotiated with teamwork. Once each obstacle is overcome, the drill instructor mentors the recruits, critiques their efforts, and retells the story of the Marine for whom the obstacle was named, bringing to light how that individual exemplified the Marine Corps' core values.
Vigorous gallantry and intrepidity in action against the enemy while serving as Weapons Platoon Sergeant, Company C, 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines, Regimental Combat Team 2. On 23 March, Gunnery Sergeant Jordan's platoon was tasked to conduct the attack north through the city on Nasiriyah to secure a critical bridgehead on the north side of the city.
Honor, courage, commitment. The Crucible is the culminating event in recruit training. and in order to become a Marine, all recruits must complete and pass the entire evaluation. Capping the already tough challenges of the previous 2 days is a 9-mile march with full packs and all of their personal equipment. It is the final event designed to see who has what it takes. At the end of the march, the recruits participate in the emblem ceremony. This is the moment when the legacy is handed down. They earn the title Marine, and the newest Marines are presented with the Marine Corps emblem, the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor by their drill instructors.
Congratulations, Bossford.
Thank you, sir.
It's all right to cry.
Bye, sir. Good morning, sir.
The Eagle, Globe, and Anchor is what sets Marines apart from other branches of service who delineate themselves by occupational specialty or demonstrate allegiance to a specific unit through the wearing of a patch or symbol. The only symbol Marines recognize is the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. Receiving the emblem signifies that the recruits have earned the title of United States Marine. They will now stand with their instructors as the nation's newest Marines.
Marines, welcome to our Corps. You are truly one of the few and the proud.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders. Of the President of the United States. And the orders. Of the officers appointed over me. Regulations. And Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
Training Day 69. Excited families line the streets and try to catch a glimpse of their Marine running by in formation. Family Day starts off with a motivational run, referred to as the Moat Run, throughout the depot. All graduating Marines run in formation while singing motivational cadence, loudly signaling successful completion of recruit training. As recruits run to the cadence of their drill instructors, parents, family members, and friends line the streets and cheer as they try to find the face of their loved one among the crowd of new Marines. After the Moat Run, the new Marines have a chance to see family and friends for the first time during On-Base Liberty. Graduation is conducted Friday in a formal ceremony and parade, attended by family and friends.
Brigadier General Redford, welcome to Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina, and to today's Family Day event. The short video you just watched had a recurring theme: the significance of the lifelong transformation of a civilian into a recruit, and a recruit into that of the United States Marine. You'll get to meet with your new Marine and discuss firsthand their experiences here in the recruit training process. These experiences start with 3 simple words: we make Marines. And our success in making Marines rests heavily on our institutional, foundational values of honor, courage, and commitment. These values are continuously reinforced throughout training and highlighted during our core values discussion. Better? All right. These values are continuously reinforced throughout training and highlighted during our core values guided discussions. So let's take a moment to talk about training. Training here at Parris Island is extremely demanding, and it takes place in 3 distinct phases. The first phase of training is the most demanding, because it's here they're getting to know each other and striving to make that physical and mental adaptation to the recruit training process. This phase is also the most important, because it sets the tone and builds the foundation for the following phases. If you received a letter from your new Marine during this phase, it probably went something like this: Dear Mom and Dad, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? If you can get me out of this, I promise I'll never complain about anything again. During the second phase, the training from first phase is reinforced, and the recruits conduct initial testing and move on to more advanced skill sets such as marksmanship. The focus of effort during this phase is teamwork, core skills, and the reiteration of our core values. Now during third phase, the molding of the basically trained women is complete. The crucible is the final team building exercise that tests each recruit's mental and physical endurance. It culminates in a 14-kilometer hike and the presentation to your new Marine, our most cherished possession, the Eagle Golden Anchor. Now, if you received a letter from your new Marine during this phase, it probably read something like this: Dear Mom and Dad, the platoon has finally come together as a team. One more event to complete. I can't wait to see you at graduation. They become Marines with the completion of the 7 graduation requirements you see on the screen behind me. These requirements are important because these skill sets are the core competencies that every Marine must maintain throughout their career, regardless of occupational specialty. These Marines have accomplished the objectives of recruit training. And let me be perfectly clear, they have earned the title United States Marine. These are the Marines that you'll see before you today. These are your Marines, and the Marines responsible for their transformation, our drill instructors, sergeants and staff non-commissioned officers who come from all across the Corps and bring with them their experience and operational excellence. These Marines attended the demanding drill instructor school conducted right here on Parris Island, and they are the subject matter experts in all aspects of recruit training. They're also experts in time management, because every minute of the weekly training schedule is accounted for. Their work week often exceeds 100 hours, and they're some of our Corps' finest Marines. And I encourage you to meet with them today, shake their hand, and thank them for a job well done. So what follows recruit training? Well, first of all, 10 days of well-deserved leave, which is the standard leave period given to a graduating Marine. During this time, they're encouraged to refer those they feel have what it takes to become a Marine to your local recruiting stations. These incentives are outlined on the screen behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, your new Marine is going to be extremely vulnerable the first 24 to 48 hours after leaving Parris Island. Simply put, they haven't stayed up late, driven a motor vehicle, or used any alcohol or tobacco products. And I can assure you, if your son or daughter was a smoker or did prior to boot camp, they just attended the best tobacco cessation course this nation has to offer. We need you to keep it safe. Now after leave, every Marine attends the School of Infantry, because every Marine is a rifleman. This school has two main tracks. The first track is for all infantry Marines. They'll attend ITB, our infantry training battalion, for about 9 weeks, where they'll learn specific infantry skill sets before joining their fellow Marines in the operating forces. The second track is for all non-infantry Marines. They'll attend MCT, or Marine Combat Training, for 5 weeks before moving on to their military occupational specialty school, and then they'll join their fellow Marines in the operating forces. Both tracks lead that way. So the schedule for the next couple of days looks like this. On-base Liberty starts and finishes here in the all-weather training facility at 3 p.m. There will be a depot color ceremony held at the depot headquarters tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m. and graduation will go on Peachor's parade deck right behind this facility. So you can see that the mystique of Parris Island really rests on the hard work and dedication from our drill instructors. From here, we'll go on to win our nation's battles and return quality citizens back to society. Once again, thank you for coming to Parris Island, and let me be the first to introduce you to our Corps' newest generation of Marines, the Marines of Company and Company U.
Yeah.
standing as you are encouraged to participate in the singing of our national anthem. Executive Order 13269 provides that aliens and non-citizen nationals of the United States who have served honorably at any time during a designated period of hostility may apply for expedited naturalization. The Marines standing before you today have completed the naturalization process upon arrival at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris, South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the company commander of Company N, Captain Dobson.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited to have you here to be a part of the ceremony today. Today we recognize 15 new Marines for their extraordinary commitment to this country by making the decision to become U.S. citizens. These new Marines are from Afghanistan, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico, Poland, and Venezuela. I would like to extend a sincere thank you to Mrs. Washington and her staff at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services for making this day possible. All of our families trace back to someone who immigrated to this great country. Throughout history, the contributions of immigrants have greatly enhanced our nation. Nowhere is that more evident or more appreciated than in our armed forces. The Marine Corps is proud of its history, and immigrants have served with distinction from the raid on New Providence during the Revolutionary War, the wheat fields of France during World War I, the beaches of the Pacific during World War II, the mountains of Korea, the jungles of Vietnam, and the deserts of the Middle East and Afghanistan. It is only right that we pause and celebrate the significance of the decision of these 15 individuals to become both United States citizens and members of our Corps. Marines, we welcome you and your family and congratulate you on your citizenship and to the most diverse nation in the world. Semper Fidelis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Immigration Services Officer, Mrs. Brenda Washington.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the United States Marine Corps and the Commanding General of the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, and the Eastern Recruiting Region, Brigadier General Rains Pope, for partnering with USAS to make today's naturalization ceremony possible. Of all applications processed, United States citizenship is the greatest honorary grant. For these Marines, today's naturalization ceremony represents their final step in their journey to American citizenship. Their path to citizenship is especially remarkable because they first pledged themselves to support and defend the United States before choosing to become American citizens. It is my privilege to present these 15 Marines from 9 different countries for naturalization. As you recite the oath of allegiance today, please remember the millions of men and women who have served before you and who have defended our freedom since the birth of our nation. Their service and sacrifices help make ceremonies like yours today possible. I now ask all Marines to please raise their right hands and repeat after me. Veto! I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, or whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Ladies and gentlemen, my citizens of
It's an honor and a privilege to call you a fellow citizen of the United States of America. This is now officially your country, your home to protect, to defend, and to serve through active and engaged citizenship. Together, we are a nation united not by any one culture or ethnicity or ideology, but by the principles of opportunity, equality, and liberty that are enshrined in our founding documents. Today marks a very special day in your life. You've traveled a long path to get here. You've sworn a solemn oath to this country, and now you have all the rights of citizenship. With the privileges of citizenship, though, come great responsibilities. And so I ask that you use your freedoms and your talents to contribute to the good of our nation and the world. Always remember that in America, no dream is impossible. Like the millions of immigrants who have come before you, you have the opportunity to enrich this country through your contributions to civic society, business, culture, and your community. You can help write the next great chapter in our American story. And together we can keep the beacon that is America burning bright for all the world to see. I am proud to welcome you as a new citizen of this country. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Brenda Washington and Captain Dobson will now present the citizenship certificates. Please hold your applause until all of the awards have been presented. PFC Loden from Burbank, California, originally from Afghanistan. Private Garcia Rios from Anaheim, California, originally from Mexico. PFC Ponce Galindo from Vallejo, California, originally from Mexico. PFC Daly from Danbury, Connecticut, originally from Jamaica. PFC Landino from Madison, Nebraska, originally from Venezuela. Private Velasquez from Temecula, California, originally from Mexico. Private Garcia from Columbus, Ohio, originally from Mexico. PFC Aquino from Brooklyn, New York, originally from Dominican Republic. Private Nieto Valladares from Raleigh, North Carolina, originally from El Salvador. PFC Burton from Amityville, New York, originally from Jamaica. PFC Campecho from Bronx, New York, originally from Colombia. PFC Martinez from High Point, North Carolina, originally from Mexico. PFC Lexus from Orlando, Florida, originally from Haiti. Private Zawistowski from Worcester, Massachusetts, originally from Poland. And PFC Velez from Carteret, New Jersey, originally from Venezuela. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our nation's newest citizens. The chief drill instructor of the 1048 series is Gunnery Sergeant Jones from Augusta, Georgia. The senior drill instructor of platoon 1048 is Sergeant Estrada from Houston, Texas. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Fleming from Durham, North Carolina, and Sergeant Ferraro from Atlanta, Georgia. The senior drill instructor of platoon 1049 is Staff Sergeant Gilray from Dallas, Texas. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Franklin from Tampa Bay, Florida. And Staff Sergeant Grabowski from Oakdale, Minnesota. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1050 is Staff Sergeant Root from Kansas City, Kansas. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Jones from Springville, Utah, Sergeant Cole from Saginaw, Michigan, and Sergeant Robinson from Mount Vernon, Indiana. The chief drill instructor of the 1052 series is Staff Sergeant Acosta from Miami, Florida. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1052 is Sergeant Riza from Troy, North Carolina. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Webb from Smyrna, Tennessee, Sergeant DeJesus from Bronx, New York, and Sergeant Knight from Kershaw, South Carolina. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1053 is Staff Sergeant Van Buster from Hayward, California. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Perkins from Chicago, Illinois, and Sergeant Davidson from Duffield, Virginia. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1054 is Staff Sergeant Barrett from Tampa, Florida. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Robinson from Chase City, Virginia, and Sergeant Medina from Phoenix, Arizona. The chief drill instructor of the 4024 series is Gunnery Sergeant Ebron from Victoria, Texas. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 4024 is Staff Sergeant Cardona from Daytona Beach, Florida. She is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Acosta from Patterson, New Jersey, and Staff Sergeant Berry from Clanton, Alabama. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 4025 is Sergeant Potts from Surprise, Arizona. She is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Ariani from Atlantic City, New Jersey, Sergeant Garcia from Patterson, New Jersey, and Sergeant Fancher from Ackerman, Mississippi. The senior drill instructors will now dismiss their platoons. Please have a safe and enjoyable family day.
What's that? Hey, let me say hi to Morgan and Lily first real quick. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Pasan 4 horas llorando ahí. ¿Ya tú saludaste a tu hermano? Vamos a ver.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On 28 October 1915, the Department of the Navy officially transferred Marine Corps recruit training to Parris Island. Among the first 750 Marines sent to Parris Island were the depot's first bandmaster, drum major, and a group of musicians from which the Parris Island Marine Band was formed. The musicians also doubled as marksmanship instructors, close combat instructors, and provided support for various units aboard the depot. A field music school was also established to train Marine musicians prior to their assignment to individual bands throughout the fleet. Today, the Parris Island Marine Band is one of the premier military bands in America. It consists of 50 members under the direction of the bandmaster, Master Sergeant Sullivan, the enlisted conductor, Gunnery Sergeant Davis, the drum major, Gunnery Sergeant Rarig, and the small ensemble leader, Gunnery Sergeant Knuckles. The band travels throughout the United States, providing music for military ceremonies, community relation events, recruiting programs, and other official events. They also have the ability to perform as several specialty ensembles such as ceremonial band, concert band, jazz ensemble, show band, and brass quintet, to name a few. While required to maintain a high degree of musical performance skills, these band members are above all else Marines, and must remain capable of assuming the task common to all Marines, those of a basic rifleman. The band's heritage dates back to the whistling fifes and rolling drums of the 1st Marines music back in 1775, and upholds a tradition of excellence and service to Corps and country, which is a proud legacy to all Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parris Island Marine Band. The term Devil Dog is used today as a friendly reference between Marines, but the nickname has a proud history. It was first given to the Marines by German troops who fought against them at the Battle of Belleau Wood during World War I. In 1921, Major General Smedley Butler introduced the first Bulldog as a Marine mascot. Now entering the parade deck is Parris Island's own Devil Dog, Corporal Legend. Corporal Legend is an English Bulldog who enlisted in the Marine Corps on the 1st of October 2011. He reported for recruit training on the 7th of October and graduated on the 4th of November. Corporal Legend's handler is Lance Corporal Phillips of the Headquarters and Service Battalion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Troops, First Sergeant Lytle. The staff for today's parade is comprised of drill instructors from the 1st and 4th Recruit Training Battalions. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. The chaplain of the 4th Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Commander Call, United States Navy, will deliver the invocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, spiritual development plays an important role in the making of a United States Marine. With this in mind, this prayer was written for the Marines of companies N and D. Let us pray. Oh God, as we gather together today, we thank you for giving us the courage, strength, and patience necessary to accomplish the goal of becoming United States Marines. Working through our cultural diversity and mixture of personalities, you forge us together into a team. We thank you, Lord, for being with us through the physical, emotional, and spiritual trials of training. You have blessed us with loving families and friends who have supported us while we were here. Thank you for bringing them safely to share the special moment with us. We pray that you will continue to watch over them and us, both, now and forever. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Present-day parades in the Marine Corps have their basis in both history and tradition. The mass formation of troops on one long line at close interval made possible the massing of firepower from muzzle-loaded muskets of yesterday. In those early days, the line of battle was just that, a line of 2 or 3 ranks, and looked much like the parade formation that you're about to see today. The adjutant forms a line for battle. The Marine marching across the parade deck is First Sergeant Henning. She is the parade adjutant and will very shortly give the command to begin the ceremony. Her position, when she halts, indicates where the right flank of the formation will rest. Once positioned, she will draw her sword and supervise the placement of the formation. Marines have served aboard Parris Island since 1891, and more than 1 million Marines have been trained here. They have departed Parris Island for combat in conflicts throughout the world. The misty wheat fields of Belleau Wood, the gritty beaches of the Pacific, the snow-capped mountains of Korea, the sweltering jungles of Vietnam, the parched desert sands of Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and every other clime and place where Marines have sacrificed for country and corps. The first called upon, the first to arrive, and the first to fight. The Marine Corps, the nation's force in readiness has answered the call to numerous hotspots around the globe, showing the world once again that the United States Marine Corps is America's premier 911 force. Marching onto the parade ground is Company D and Company N. They began their training on April 30th, 2016, and today's graduation marks the end of a demanding and difficult 12 weeks of training. These young men and women you see marching before you have met and mastered the challenge of recruit training. They have qualified with the service rifle and received basic warrior training. They have completed over 200 hours of academic instruction and participated in a rigorous physical training program that has developed their strength and stamina for the challenges ahead. Core values has been instilled in each of them, the meaning of honor, courage, and commitment. Marching before you this morning are 420 success stories, each of them a testament to the physical courage, dogged determination, and unyielding commitment to excellence that define the title Marine. This is what they have striven and persevered for, the right to walk across this parade deck as Marines. They have earned this title through demonstrated courage and achievement, and now join the proud ranks of over 1 million Marines who have graduated from Parris Island. From this day on, they will carry on the proud legacy and history of the United States Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines of Company D and Company N. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove all hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. The parade adjutant now presents the command to the commander of troops, indicating that the parade is formed.
Oh, no! 48 series. All present are accounted for. One dozen, 82 series. All present or accounted for.
At the command, officers center march. All unit commanders and guidon bearers march to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that the commanding officer would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit commanders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information on to their Marines. Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. In keeping with the slogan, once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. We ask that those men and women in the audience who have served in the United States Marine Corps please rise. Please join us in showing our appreciation for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of the 4th Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel McCann.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Brigadier General Austin Renforth, welcome to Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, and the graduation of Companies D and N.
We're so happy that you could be here today. We'd also like to give a special welcome to Colonel John Ray, the Assistant Wing Commander of the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing, who is our parade reviewing official today. Sir, we're honored by your presence. Today, this ceremony is about recognizing the Marines in formation and what they have accomplished in order to get here today. Now, it's important to recognize that there are few individuals who are willing to volunteer to serve our nation as members of her armed forces. Even fewer are found qualified to be United States Marines. Now, over the past 3 months, these young men and women have been tested morally, mentally, and physically in subjects such as martial arts, marksmanship, water survival, physical fitness, and academics. Their final test was the Crucible, a defining event requiring teamwork and endurance for over 2 days with very little sleep. Here, they complete the transformation from recruit to Marine and learn that honor, courage, and commitment are not just words, but the definition of who and what we are. Today, they stand here ready to join a long line of patriotic men and women who have earned the title United States Marine. But we all know that they did not get here on their own. The development of their character, their values, and their patriotism, that began at home with you. You built that foundation. You put them on the long and sometimes difficult journey that got them here today. The love, support, and encouragement of family and friends have enabled them to complete recruit training, and your future support will help them as they continue to serve. Now, they're also assisted by their recruiters. Our recruiters work long hours in hometowns all across America, just like yours, searching for only the best qualified applicants. It was one of these recruiters who recognized the potential in each of these men and women, encouraged them to take on the challenge of becoming a United States Marine. We thank them for this invaluable service. And finally, the Marine Corps drill instructor. These legendary professionals have dedicated themselves to transforming raw recruits into the Marines you see here today. All day, every day, they teach, they train, they mentor. They set the example and instill our core values. Without a doubt, the drill instructor is one person that no Marine will ever forget. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for our recruiters, our drill instructors, and their families. Now, if you'll excuse me, I would like to address the formation. Good morning, Marines. Good morning! Congratulations on earning the title United States Marine. Today, this ceremony, it's about you and your families and celebrating your accomplishments. You should be proud of yourselves. Nothing here was handed to you. You earned every bit of it. But starting tomorrow, it's no longer about you. It's about the men and women in the stands. It's about the nation we serve. It's about the Marines that have gone before us, the Marines who serve beside us, and the Marines who have yet to serve. Never let them down. Live with honor, with courage, and with commitment, and you will do well. Congratulations, Marines. Job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct privilege to present to you our newest Marines, the future of our Corps.
Reviewing today's graduation ceremony is Colonel John A. Ray Jr. He is being escorted by Colonel St. Clair, Commanding Officer, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina. Colonel Ray was commissioned as Second Lieutenant in 1991. Following this, he was assigned to VMA 513 in Yuma, Arizona, where he deployed with the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit and flew missions in support of Operation Southern Watch, and later deployed with the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit. Rejoining VMA 513 in 2003, Major Ray deployed with the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit and flew combat missions in Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. In 2005, Major Ray deployed and flew combat missions in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. From 2006 to 2008, Lieutenant Colonel Ray served as Executive Officer, 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, and supported Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. From 2009 to 2011, he served as the Commanding Officer of VMAT 203. Colonel Ray was then assigned to the Pentagon Joint Staff J3 National Military Command Center, where he served as Assistant Deputy Director for Operations and Presidential Nuclear Strike Advisor. Colonel Ray currently serves as the Assistant Wing Commander, 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. His personal awards include the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Air Medal, and the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal.
One, sir, the brightest form.
March to command and review.
Aye, sir.
The commander of troops, First Sergeant Lytle. His company commander is Captain Ward. The Parris Island Marine Band, under the direction of the Drum Major Gunnery Sergeant Rarig, and the enlisted conductor is Sergeant Harper. Gunnery Sergeant Jones and the graduating Marines of the 1048 series. His series commander is Captain Garrick. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1048 is Sergeant Estrada. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Fleming and Sergeant Ferraro. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1049 is Staff Sergeant Gilray. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Franklin and Staff Sergeant Grabowski. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1050 is Staff Sergeant Root. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Jones, Sergeant Kolb, and Sergeant Robinson. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1052 is Sergeant Riza. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Webb, Sergeant De Jesus, and Sergeant Knight. Staff Sergeant Acosta and the graduating Marines of the 1052 series. His series commander is Captain Peltier. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 1053 is Staff Sergeant Van Buskirk. He is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Perkins, Sergeant Hale, and Sergeant Davidson. The honor platoon for Company D is Platoon 1054. The senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Barrett. He is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Robinson and Sergeant Medina. Gunnery Sergeant Hebron and the graduating Marines of the 4024 series. Her series commander is Captain Farrell. The honor platoon for Company N is Platoon 4024. The senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Cardona. She is assisted by drill instructors Staff Sergeant Acosta and Staff Sergeant Bering. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 4025 is Sergeant Paz. She is assisted by drill instructors Sergeant Ariani, Sergeant Garcia, and Sergeant Fancher. Ladies and gentlemen, the company commanders of Company D and Company N, Captain Ward and Captain Dobson. The new Marines carrying the platoon guidons have been selected as the honor graduates for their platoons. They will now retire their guidons.
Personnel to be awarded! Stand clear! March!
The platoon guidons that are about to be retired have been the identification flags of each platoon throughout recruit training. To each, the guidon is a symbol of spirit, dedication, teamwork, and unit identity.
Retire the guidon!
The commanding officer of the 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Birch, will present the High PFT and Honor Graduate Awards. He is accompanied by the 1st Recruit Training Battalion Sergeant Major Marina. We would like to thank the Marine Corps Association for providing the awards today. Please hold your applause until all of the awards have been presented.
Good morning, sir. Personnel to be awarded, all present. Hi, sir. Still carry. Right face.
The most physically fit Marine of Company N is PFC Christner of Platoon 4025. PFC Christner scored 600 points out of 600 possible points. The honor graduate for Platoon 1048 is PFC Odom. PFC Odom is from Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, and was recruited by Sergeant Cheeley. The honor graduate for Platoon 1049 is PFC Moran. PFC Moran is from Collinsville, Virginia, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Pfeiffer. The most physically fit Marine of Company D with a score of 600 out of 600 possible points, and the company honor graduate is PFC Barganier of Platoon 1050. PFC Barganier is from Eatonville, Florida, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Adams. The honor graduate for Platoon 1052 is PFC Holloman. PFC Holloman is from Miami, Florida, and was recruited by Sergeant Johnson. The honor graduate for Platoon 1053 is PFC Lanfranchi. PFC Lanfranchi is from Ashburn, Virginia, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant D. Camilla. The honor graduate for Platoon 1054 is PFC Meany. PFC Meany is from Dedham, Massachusetts, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Warren. The honor graduate for Platoon 4024 is PFC Griffith. PFC Griffith is from Killeen, Texas, and was recruited by Staff Sergeant Renton. The company honor graduate for Company N is PFC Johnson of Platoon 4025. PFC Johnson is from Vancouver, Washington, and was recruited by Sergeant Bunting. Marching onto the parade ground are the combat marksmanship instructors of Platoon 1050 and Platoon 4024. The high shooter of Company D with a score of 340 out of 350 possible points is PFC Be Real. The high shooter of Company N with a score of 324 out of 350 possible points is Private Reed. Presenting the awards today are the combat marksmanship instructors who are responsible for instilling the knowledge and the proficiency of the company high shooters. They are Sergeant Peeler and Sergeant Wasson. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished graduates of Company D and Company N. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Anchors Aweigh, which represents a historic partnership and shared legacy of the United States Navy and the Marine Corps, followed by the Marines Hymn and the final dismissal. Ladies and gentlemen, the First Sergeants of Company D and Company N, First Sergeant Lytle and First Sergeant Henning.
Good morning, sir. Company First Sergeant reporting this order. Good morning, First Sergeant. This is Company. Aye, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Company First Sergeant reporting his order. Good morning, First Sergeant. Dismiss the company. Aye, ma'am. Ho!
Senior drill instructor! Dismiss your platoon!
Aye, First Sergeant! Senior drill instructor! Dismiss your platoon! Aye, First Sergeant!
The senior drill instructors will now dismiss their platoons. This is the last and probably the most welcome order the new Marines receive from their senior drill instructors.